Hey designers, welcome to this 6-part video series titled Introduction to Instructional Design. I'm Lindsay O'Neill. I teach for Instructional Design Master's Program, and I like to create videos that go over topics I teach in my classes. So part 1 is going to be what is instructional design, and here's what we'll cover in the entire series. We are going to talk about instructional design models. We'll talk about how people learn, learning theories, memory, motivation, and feedback. Basically give you an overview and a quick introduction to some of the basic instructional design principles you need to get started with instructional design. But first, let's talk. What is instructional design? So let's define this. When I tell people I'm an instructional designer, the first thing they think is like wallpaper samples, paint, furniture. They're thinking interior design. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but it's pretty funny when it does happen. And I say, no, instructional design is actually all about creating effective learning experiences. Hopefully I hook them with that, but if I don't, I launch into an even longer explanation. It's all about the systematic structuring and development of content and experiences to facilitate learning. Really, instructional design takes a lot. When you're an instructional designer, your mind's kind of working like this, right? You think about theories, you're thinking about strategies, you're thinking about the best technology to tie it all together. And it's a lot. It can be a lot. It can be a little bit intimidating. And there's a lot you have to know as an instructional designer. It's all about the science of learning. It's about technology. It's about being really systematic as you're designing. When you create something, you want to make sure it's usable. You got to have some effective visual and graphic design going on. It helps to know a tiny bit of coding, though you don't have to know coding. Accessibility, I think, is really important. Copyright, that's really important too. If you're reusing other people's materials, are we using them legally? Are we using them ethically? These are all things to consider. If you're considering making a move in instructional design, maybe you're transferring into the field, maybe you're in the field and thinking about what other kinds of jobs are out there, you might be looking for any one of these many jobs: instructional designer, learning development specialist, learning experience, user experience, curriculum, e-learning, developer, you could be learning designer, learning strategist, multimedia developer, learning architect, learning engineer, trainer. There's so much more. This is a really varied field with a lot of specialties. One of the things I love about this field is that no matter what your specific interest is, there's a job out there for you. So if you're curious about what other jobs might involve, I encourage you to go to LinkedIn or Indeed, start Googling instructional design, look for some of these job titles, see what's in those job descriptions. So next up, we're going to move on to instructional design systems in models. That will be in part 2 of this video series.